Now let's look at the real-world application in examples 3 and 4. Example 3 says Martino constructed the graph shown, which shows the height of his cactus after several years of growth. Then make a function table for the input-output values. So basically, you don't have this yet, okay? They've provided you with this graph, and from it, you need to create a table that has the input and the output values. And you're going to gather that from finding the 3 points that you see here in your linear function. So you're going to look at your points and identify them as ordered pairs. So there's 1, 42, 2, 44, and 3, 46. So then from there, you can construct this input-output chart. So you've got your inputs, which are your x values, and your outputs, which are your y's, and you have them paired up like they were in your graph. Now let's look at example 4. Write an equation from the graph that could be used to find the height y of the cactus after x years. So you're basically trying to come up with a rule here, okay, for how the cactus is growing and how you could figure this out no matter how many years it's been, okay? So if you look at your input-output table, you may think, okay, well, let me see how I can relate these, right? How does 1 equal 42, 2 equal 44, and 3 equal 46? You might first think that I can do 1 plus 41 to get 42, but if I try that with 2, 2 plus 41 is going to give me 43, not 44 that I have here. So that's not going to work, okay? Then you might think, all right, let me try to multiply by 42. 1 times 42 is 42. 2 times 42, though, is way more than 44. So again, that's not going to work exactly. So when looking for the relationship, it may help, like we saw in example 1, to look at your y's or your outputs and see the relationship here. Okay, so notice that between 42 and 44, it increases by 2, and 44 to 46 increases by 2. So since it increases by 2, this tells us, okay, that my x value has been multiplied by 2. So I know that it includes somewhere 2 times x, okay? But something else happens after that. But since I see this increase of 2, that tells me that the x has been multiplied by 2. So then once I figure that part out, I've got to see my other part of the equation. So if I take 1 and multiply by 2, I'll get 2. And then how much more would I need to get to 42? I'd have to add 40. Okay, let's see if that works for all the others. So if I plug in my 2 as x, 2 times 2 is 4, and if I add 40, I will get 44 that I have as my output. If I plug 3 in for x, 2 times 3 is 6, and if I add 40, I'll get 46, which is my output. So that is correct. So my equation would then be not just this, because this is just an expression, so you need to have the y equals 2x plus 40. Go ahead and try the GATA problems on the next page to check your understanding.